All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful, fundamental ideas in all of economics: supply and demand. Seriously, this concept governs the price of pretty much everything you buy, from your morning coffee all the way to a college education.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a question that might surprise you. We've all heard the stories, right? That college tuition has just skyrocketed. But is it really 7 times more expensive than it was for our parents back in 1970? Well, the answer isn't quite a simple yes. It's a little more complicated than that.
To really get to the bottom of this, we need to understand that there are two different ways to look at price. On one side, you've got the nominal price. Think of this as the sticker price, the actual number of dollars you pay for something today. But then you have the real price, and this is where it gets interesting. This is the price adjusted for inflation. It tells you what something is really worth compared to everything else.
Now check this out. In 1970, a year of college was about $2,500. Fast forward to 1998, and that same year costs over $19,000. But when we adjust for inflation, the real cost in 1970s money was closer to $4,500. Now look at eggs. The real price actually went down. So what in the world is going on here?
And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. That nominal price, the sticker shock, yeah, it went up over 7 times. But the real price, what it actually costs when you strip away inflation, it went up less than double. So here's the key. College definitely got more expensive, but a huge piece of that puzzle is just inflation. The bigger question is, why did the real price of college go up while eggs went down? The answer is all about supply and demand.
So to understand why those prices moved so differently, we've got to break the market down into its two main forces. Let's start with our side of the equation, the buyer's side. This is the law of demand. The demand curve sounds kind of technical, but it's a really simple idea. It's basically just a graph that shows us how much of something people, like you and me, are willing to buy at a bunch of different prices.
And the logic behind it is just pure common sense. When the price of something goes down, what happens? People want to buy more of it. I mean, if your favorite pizza place has a 2-for-1 deal, you're probably going to buy more pizza. It's just how we operate. And that's why this demand curve almost always slopes downward.
But hang on, it's not just about the price tag of that one item. Other things can make us want more or less of a product. If our incomes go up, we can afford to buy more of everything. If a new fashion trend hits, demand for certain clothes goes through the roof. Even the price of other stuff matters. You know, if the price of coffee gets too high, the demand for tea might just go up.
Okay, so that's us, the buyers. Now let's flip the coin and look at this from the seller's point of view. It's time to talk about the law of supply.
The supply curve is pretty much the mirror image of demand. It just shows us how much of something producers are willing to create and sell at any given price.
For sellers, the whole motivation is flipped. When the price of their product goes up, the amount they want to sell also goes up. And that makes sense, right? Higher prices mean more potential profit, so it gives them a huge incentive to make and sell more stuff. And that's exactly why the supply curve slopes upward. And just like demand, the whole supply curve can shift around because of things other than price. We're talking about the hidden costs of actually making the product. If wages go up or the cost of raw materials spikes, it suddenly becomes more expensive to produce. And when that happens, sellers are going to supply less at every single price point. So we have buyers who want low prices and sellers who want high prices. It sounds like they're totally at odds with each other. So how does anything ever get sold? Well, this brings us to the magic moment where these two powerful forces finally meet. This is where it all comes together. You can think of the market as this giant negotiation. The demand curve is what buyers are willing to pay, and the supply curve is what sellers are willing to accept. And that one spot where those two curves cross, that's where they agree on a price and a quantity.
This special point of agreement has a name. It's called equilibrium. It's also known as the market clearing price because at this one price, every single item that's for sale gets bought. The market is perfectly cleared.
When a market is in equilibrium, it's in a state of perfect balance. The amount people want to buy is exactly equal to the amount people want to sell. There are no annoying shortages with empty shelves, and there are no wasteful surpluses of stuff just sitting in a warehouse. Everything's stable, and the price has no reason to change.
But of course, the real world is messy. It's rarely in perfect balance. So what happens when a market gets knocked out of whack? This is where you see the true power of supply and demand. Let's look at markets in motion.
So first, let's tell the story of a surplus. Imagine a store sets its price way too high, way above that equilibrium point. Well, at that high price, Producers are making tons of product, but we, the consumers, just aren't buying. And the result? A surplus. Unsold stuff starts piling up. To get it moving, producers have to do the one thing they can: lower the price, which pushes the market right back down toward equilibrium.
Now, let's look at the flip side. What if the price is way too low? It's a bargain. Suddenly, everyone wants to buy. But at that low price, producers don't have much reason to make a lot. The result is a shortage. Empty shelves, frustrated customers. Seeing all this crazy demand, producers realize, hey, we can raise our prices, and that pushes the market right back up toward equilibrium.
And this brings us right back to the core idea, which this quote sums up beautifully. Supply and demand interact to find that market-clearing price. And when things are out of balance, the market adjusts. It's like this invisible hand that's always pushing things back to the middle. And that, finally, is what happened with our eggs and our college tuition. The real price of eggs fell because new technology let us supply way more of them. But for college, the demand for a degree just exploded and the supply of seats couldn't keep up. That massive demand shift is what drove the real price up.
So, if markets are these amazing, self-correcting things, why do we even need to bother understanding them? Well, here's the final, crucial takeaway. This incredible mechanism we've just walked through, it really only works perfectly when markets are competitive. So what happens when they're not? Well, that's a whole other can of worms and a topic for another explainer.